Good Friday afternoon to you. I hope your weekend is off to a great start. We have a special voicemail of Truth and Reason Uncut edition of Sports4CLE. The league year actually starts Monday with legalized tampering. Wednesday, free agents can be signed. That means in the NFL, it is roster building season. And before we move forward, we're going to take a look back. Some of the things that went wrong back in 2021. Only way you can correct them is by looking at what went wrong and not doing it again. We head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason with some of the things that went wrong in 2021.
Dave, another Browns offseason is here, and this past season hurt the worst. With such high expectation for possibly finally getting to the Super Bowl to being basically done after Game 14. So again, the uncertainty at the quarterback position still exists. Who will we draft in the first few rounds, and who will we look at in free agency? But I hope most of all, in the room where decisions are made, a huge emphasis is put finally on specialty teams. Look at the playoffs so far, where the games have been won with last-second field goals, where we, as Browns fans, are praying we can make the point after touchdown. And when was the last time we had a punt or kickoff return for more than 10 yards? The specialty teams is what gets the offense and defenses going, and a lot of times it's what wins games. So please, Browns management, let's address the issue.
I realize this is a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda, but with all the offensive woes, the outbreak of injuries, being decimated with COVID for a couple weeks, didn't the Browns season really come down to 2 games? If the Chiefs would have hung out and beat the Bengals in Cincinnati, and if the Browns would have split the season series with the Steelers, wouldn't we be talking about the Browns as AFC North champions? I realize that the Bengals sat their starters for the last game of the season, but with the AFC crown on the line in the last game, I like the chances of Cleveland. I'd like to hear your comments. Thank you. Bye.
You guys in the Cleveland media fail to realize one thing. When Mayfield was injured, the doctors cleared him. He said he could play. That was totally, totally wrong. It's the front office and the coach should say, you sit. Period. Get your operation and come back. Then all this pressure wouldn't be on him because he wouldn't have played the last 6 or 7 or 8 games. Case would have at least won 2 of those games, guaranteed, which would have put the Browns into playoffs and take all this pressure off of Mayfield being so bad.
Hello, I'm James. I'm a true Browns fan. Been a true Browns fan probably before Bernie Kosar days. But anyway, my concern is, I kind of agree with some of the fans about the coaching staff because there's many times that they should have ran our beefy 24 running back. He's probably the best in the league. There's a lot of, he should have had top numbers even with his missing a few games. He should be the number 1 running back of all time. But the coaching staff doesn't know how to put him in when really to need to be there. Baker is garbage. Baker has missed too many receivers downfield. Baker has not read his reads right. I think that all falls back on the coaching. Coaching sucks. Even management sucks. We should have been to the Super Bowl a couple times. Obviously, it's not going to happen. Very disappointing season. Let's see if we have another disappointing season. If not, we need to change coaches again.
If Baker Mayfield could not get the ball to Odell Beckham, why don't we get a new quarterback rather than another wide receiver? Thank you. Have a good day.
I hear all these complaints about Baker and various other complaints. My biggest complaint, thinking about those solid Browns teams of the 80s and early 90s, those teams were physical. Cleveland was always known as a physical team. And I don't see it with this current Browns team. If you look at Pittsburgh, you can say what you want about their frailties. They're physical. Baltimore is physical. Cleveland used to be. At the moment, they're not. And I think that's the biggest impediment to their forthcoming season. That is my observation. I'm glad you took my call. Thank you very much. Please be safe.
We have to take a quick time out. On the other side of the break, more voicemail of truth and reason uncut. This one's about the quarterback. Stay with us.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Thanks for buying a fishing license. I want you to picture all of the great things this simple purchase does. Like building public boat ramps, keeping local waters clean, and maintaining a healthy fish population.
What's Mom doing?
When you buy a fishing license, you do a lot. Every dollar protects and maintains your local waterways for future generations to enjoy. Visit takemefishing.org.
We continue with Sports4CLE's voicemail of truth and reason uncut. One of the most polarizing figures in Cleveland sports these days, quarterback Baker Mayfield. Fan base pretty much equally split between being directly behind Baker Mayfield and not being behind him. We head to the voicemail of truth and reason about Baker Mayfield.
Hey, this is Ray from Canton, Ohio, Pro Football Hall of Fame City. I think Baker is going to be just fine. We act like he didn't lead the team to the playoffs and beat our arch rival on the road, even had Big Ben crying. He played injured. Let's try to get two dynamic receivers into the offense. Let Baker heal up, use this fifth year as a real accurate evaluation. I think we'll know more going into the middle of next season. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. I am calling in and saying that, in my opinion, I think Baker was being a little bit selfish and wanting to play hurt. I do believe he hurt the team more than he helped it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Why don't the Browns understand that Baker is not a pocket quarterback? When he takes the ball from center, he steps back 2 steps. He doesn't step back far enough to even have clearance to throw over the offensive line. And it never is a successful play. Don't the coaches understand that and see that he is not a pocket passer? Love to hear your comments. Thanks.
Hey, this is Tim D calling out from the Pacific Northwest here, Browns fan out here. And I heard Mary Kay say at the end of the January 20 video that she felt like Baker could pass a team physical and to get onto another team. That seems pretty unlikely given that he's still going to be far away from having full range of motion and so on, abilities with that left arm. Myself, having had the exact same surgery he has, I know it's a pretty long rehab period before you can really do the activities of daily living. And I appreciate if you guys could devote some follow-up to that. I think it's an important thing that has been largely overlooked so far in the sports media. The ins and outs of such a physical and whether it's really doable. Thank you so much.
Hey, this is James Seiler from Wadsworth. Hey, if you look at what Baker has done with the Browns, he's had
good years, the two even-numbered years. 2018 and 2020 had good years. 2019 and 2021, not so good. So I'm predicting a great year for him next year.
Hi, guys. This falls into the things that really bug me category, and it has to do with Baker Mayfield's perceived weak-to-average arm strength. I think I've been hearing this from the national media at least since 2019. So I decided to look at the 2018 NFL Combine stats on Baker and some of the other quarterbacks. And at that Combine, Baker threw 60 miles an hour on the down and out. The only other quarterback to throw at least 60 miles an hour on that was Josh Allen, who hit 62 on the radar gun. Coincidentally, Lamar Jackson threw 49 miles an hour. 49 miles an hour. And I don't think I've ever heard anyone question his arm strength. By the way, a year before that, in 2017, Patrick Mahomes threw, wait for it, 60 miles an hour on the radar gun. Additionally, Pro Football Focus called Baker's Hail Mary pass against the Ravens the longest in-game pass they've ever recorded. That's the one when he threw from his 40-yard line through the end zone, and the cornerback from Baltimore ran into the goalpost, and the ball was still going. So, like I said, I feel much better now. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Baker Mayfield is not a franchise quarterback. We don't want the Cleveland Browns face it. 4 years of nothing. One playoff, luckily. Running game took us there. Wasn't a quarterback. Trying to reevaluate. Trying to get a better quarterback into the system. The truth is, it's time to find a better, stronger quarterback. Baker Mayfield needs to take his walking papers and try to meet somebody else and let their team down. And he was very selfish with not taking himself out of the games when he was hurt. Anyone else would have got out of there.
I'm just calling. I think people were giving up on Baker too soon. I look at the Super Bowl coming up, and could you imagine either team playing in the Super Bowl where they would wind up if they had our receiving core? I think we just need some good receivers and keep up the good work and build on our defense. And I'd just like to hear what you got to say about it, sir. Have a good day.
Hi. Everybody's talking about Baker Mayfield and how bad he is and how we need to make a change. He was injured. Now, we see OBJ being his deep threat, but he couldn't throw the deep ball because he was hurt. I think we need to stick by our quarterback, let him get healed, and move on from it. Give him a supporting cast. His receiving core was not that great, especially after OBJ was gone. With the injury, I think we need to give him some time. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
As to the comment that I watched by the gentleman saying that Baker was making bad decisions, that his injury had nothing to do with his bad decisions, had everything to do with his bad decisions. If you don't have the confidence because your arm's not strong enough, you don't have the zip behind it to make certain plays, then you're going to start making alternate decisions, which aren't going to be very good. If he had the strength in his arm and his shoulder, he's got a gun for an arm. We know he does. He would have made those throws, but he didn't have confidence in his throws because he didn't have the strength, so it had everything to do with his decision making.
Consistency is the main criteria of a good and acceptable quarterback play. This inconsistency is the main thing that Baker has yet been not able to establish for whatever reason. So many variables, it's hard, as you know, to pinpoint what's the exact cause, and it's just contributory. But he's had 4 years, and with all the different coaching staffs, with all the injuries, everything involved, it's tough to really evaluate. But seriously, after 4 years, a number one draft pick probably should have shown a little more, even through all the situations.
We will have more uncut version of the voicemail with Truth and Reason in just a few minutes. We got to take a quick time out. Other side of the break, who should be the quarterback for your Cleveland Browns in 2022? That's straight ahead on Sports for CLE. Voicemail of Truth and Reason, Uncut. Stay with us.
Life is getting back on track, and you can too. If you or your family have experienced financial hardship as a result of COVID-19, Tri-C can help with tuition assistance. Safely get the in-demand degree or training you need with online and on-campus classes. Go to tri-c.edu to check out our programs and resources. So, what are you waiting for? Register now for spring classes. Tri-C is where futures begin.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I am powerful beyond my wildest imagination.
I will define my future.
I will keep challenging myself to improve.
Because I am a future leader of this great nation.
I will be responsible for raising a beautiful family.
And educating not only my generation, but many more to come.
I will make a difference in my community.
And I will stand up for what I believe in.
I will not settle for simply chasing my dreams, I will achieve them.
Because I was given a chance.
An opportunity.
A home.
At Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America.
The ultimate leadership experience.
FCCLA has been one of the greatest experiences of my life.
It's made me who I am today.
Join us. We'll build a new future together.
Welcome back to Sports for CLE, voicemail of Truth and Reason, Uncut edition. The most important decision that Andrew Berry and the Browns have to get right this year: who is going to be the quarterback? We head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason, Uncut, as fans have plenty of ideas.
Hi, this is Roy Kennebrew, and I'm calling to talk about Baker Mayfield and everything that's swirling around that situation. And I really just want to say that when people say, what other options do we have? Because I don't believe Baker is a franchise quarterback. And then you say, what options do we have? Well, in all truthful and honesty, you could put nearly any quarterback in that system and do better than Baker. And I feel like when Baker was hurt, he should have just went out early after week 2, got the surgery, and I believe if they did that, then Case Keenum would have won more games, and possibly we would have been in the playoffs.
As simple as it is, Baker got to go. Baker, people take Baker last 8 games of last season and sum up his whole career. You don't just take 8 games and say, this is who he is. The majority of his has shown who he is. Yes, he had a breakout season last year, but that's it. He is who he is. A certified backup quarterback in the National Football League. Nothing else, nothing more. Will never be anything more, in my opinion, at least in the Cleveland Browns uniform. And I think that fans need to wake up and see that. Go get somebody else why he's valuable, because soon he's not going to be valuable. And a lot of people saying Russell Wilson and all this quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson, and we shouldn't get Deshaun Watson because of this, and Russell Wilson won't want to come to Cleveland, Aaron Rodgers and all this. You can convince Russell Wilson to come to Cleveland with the supporting cast we have. We have a young cast right now. We're not going to be able to hold those players for long. Those players are going to get paid. And we're going to have to either pay or release it. We're not going to be able to pay all of them. So we are in a win-now mode.
Huntley from Baltimore is a very viable option, and we're not even talking about him for some reason. He's going to be cheap. Why is he not being talked about in Cleveland? Thank you.
So
You know, I'm noticing like you guys, every time they bring up Marcus Mariota, you guys immediately say no. But you want to give Baker another year. We've seen the film on Baker. I'm asking you guys, take a look at the film on YouTube of Marcus Mariota. There's one, Marcus Mariota 2018. There's another where he was with the Titans then. There's another where Marcus Mariota was with the Oakland Raiders against the Chargers. I'm asking you guys to take a look at the film, see how many actually dropped balls there were, where he actually put the ball where it wanted to be, how much better he can run than Baker Mayfield, and how he actually does kind of look through his progression a lot more than Baker. That's all I'm asking you guys to do. Thanks. Bye.
I wanted to comment on the fact that the Browns defense actually late in the year was pretty daggone good. I mean, especially JOK was brought in to chase Lamar down, literally. And he did it. That's what he was brought there for. Now, if we can build that defense up and maybe bring in another quarterback, or, you know, maybe we have to ride out the year with Baker, but maybe keep in Njoku and, you know, maybe not spend so much money on that, but shore up the defense and maybe get a few specialized players and stuff like that. We can do a little trickeration, sort of like what the Ravens do, because by no means is Lamar a better passer than Baker. However, he's a much better runner and football player all over. But why not get a guy like that and use him?
So here's what I think we should do with Baker. Next year is his 5th year. That means that we are going in to his 5th year without him signed, which means we're basically taking a 1-year gamble on Baker. So why not do this? Why not flip Baker for whatever we can get, a 2nd or 3rd round pick to Carolina, the Giants, Commanders, or wherever we can send them off to, and sign Jameis Winston, who is also a 1st round draft pick, also super talented, but he's 6'4", can move, and has a really strong arm, and really seemed to be getting it last year with the Saints. So if you're going to take a chance on a 1-year experiment, why not do it on the guy who's taller, more athletic, and maybe has the game slowing down for him, rather than betting on a 1-year all-in deal for Baker, who's only 6 feet tall and doesn't have the same athletic attributes that Jameis has. Because if the light is gone on for Winston, he stacks up a lot better with Burrow and Herbert and the other young guns that are emerging in the AFC North.
Got to take a quick time out. On the other side of the break, we'll talk about the Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski straight ahead on Sports for CLE. Stay with us.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Thanks for buying a fishing license. I want you to picture all the great things this simple purchase does. Like building public boat ramps, keeping local waters clean, and maintaining a healthy fish population.
What's Mom doing?
When you buy a fishing license, you do a lot. Every dollar protects and maintains your local waterways for future generations to enjoy. Visit takemefishing.org.
Welcome back to Sports4CLE, the voicemail of truth and reason, Uncut edition. A couple of years ago, Kevin Stefanski was the NFL's Coach of the Year. Last year, the team struggled, and now we head to the voicemail of truth and reason to find out what fans have to say about Kevin Stefanski.
Hi, this is my comments about Stefanski. I think we might have to release him, or at least tell him that he's no longer running the offense. If he doesn't like it, there's the door. His conduct Monday with the right tackle was it was inexcusable. You know, the fact he wouldn't put anyone out there to help him. And running this 1950s offense, the three tight ends, the only one in the NFL doing it. And there's a reason. Defenses are too fast. Hi, I'd like to comment on the defending Stefanski. Geez, he was, Coach of the Year last year. That was last year. And what has he done for us lately? He's been incredibly rigid. He does not change anything, ever. Not during the games. And, and just last week with Pittsburgh, with putting a rookie, right, tackle on, one of the best edge rushers in the league. And the guy was just burying, Baker, and he didn't change.
Dave, in my opinion, a major change to the Browns must be made immediately for the Browns to be successful going forward. That change is Kevin Stefanski must give up the play calling duties and concentrate on being a total team coach. Team is just a word unless you have a leader who is in total control and coordinates everything together as a unit. I believe because he tried to take on too much, he failed at parts of that task last season. As far as play calling, his philosophy of offense has been figured out by the rest of the NFL, and his refusal of making changes when changes are needed has been his downfall. A new offensive coordinator is needed who will mold all strengths of the players into a unit that's dominating starting on day one. Then and only then will the Browns be headed in the right direction.
I just want to say this. Baker Mayfield, I believe, is an inadequate quarterback. I don't think there's anyone out there that we can get right now that could do better than him. As far as Baker's bad play this year, I think it was mostly because of the injury and the receivers around him, mainly Odell Beckham. He didn't want to be here. But that said, we have a coach, Kevin Stefanski. He's the coach. He should have set Baker down, and Case Keenum should have played. I blame it on the coach. Thank you.
I just got to address the speculation that Kevin Stefanski is somehow responsible for Baker Mayfield's injury and playing him through the injury, and he should have sat him. This thing that Browns fans have really been harping on recently. I just want to pose the whole scenario in the sense that what if Baker Mayfield had been benched, Stefanski did bench him, we start Case Keenum, rest of the season plays out the exact same way. And then at the end of the season, it comes out that Kevin Stefanski went against the medical staff who said that Baker Mayfield was okay to play and went against Baker who said he was okay to play and wanted to play. That would have just created even more situations of just tumultuous situations, and I don't think the fans would have probably been okay with that either. I find it a bit hypocritical and contradicting for people to be criticizing Stefanski. Thanks.
I still think Baker can do it. I really do. I think in a different situation and with maybe a little bit different playbook, open things up a little bit, spread the field out instead of, somebody said 80% three tight ends. That's not going to work. Also, too, you give them a couple of receivers, a couple of good offensive linemen in front of him, and I think I think he can do the job. Why mortgage the farm?
Hey, this is Brian Rizzo calling out of Hilliard. My thing is just about everybody's always saying that Baker can't play and Baker's no good, but have you ever thought about that maybe this system isn't for him? Because he came out of college a pretty good quarterback, so he's got the talent to throw the ball. So my question, I guess, is what do you think the chances of Stefanski maybe tailoring his offense towards more of what Baker can do good instead of what Stefanski does good? Just like to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Considering the way things are going right now, we have a quarterback that's under scrutiny. Questions are starting to be raised about the coach, and I think we're in a good place with the general manager. If we keep repeating the same mistakes of the past, our future is only going to be filled with the problems of the past. So I'm afraid that, being quick to turn about on these systems that are in place may not be a good thing, because I know that if we turn it over and rebuild over and over and over and over again, we have no reason to expect anything different than the last 25 years. So with that, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate everything. It's a great show. Look forward to seeing it. Bye.
Dave, every day the talk concerning the Cleveland Browns comes down to, is Baker Mayfield a good NFL quarterback? When I believe the talk should be is the strict scheme Kevin Stefanski forces on the offense, the correct scheme. The facts are, when healthy, Baker Mayfield has been a very good quarterback for the Browns. Now let's take two receivers, Hollywood Higgins and Landry. Baker and Higgins were on the same page, and when a key catch was needed, it generally happened. And when Baker gets into trouble, Landry always finds a way to get into position for Baker to throw him the ball. Because Stefanski forces a strict scheme, I believe this is why Higgins got into the doghouse. Landry, because he's a total team player, got away with it. Yes, from the snap of the ball to the catch is A to Z, but it does not have to be in a straight line as long as the quarterback and receivers are on the same page. If Stefanski continues to call plays, he needs to adjust the scheme to let the players play to their strengths as long as the quarterback and receivers are on the same page. Then I believe the results will be victories and the negativity and uncertainties will finally end.
Focusing on the new season and forgetting all the draft and all of that, we're back to, everybody's focusing on Baker Mayfield's recovery. And I just wanted to know if you could answer the question why Stefanski and Baker, yes, aren't always on the same page. So if they are not, why isn't Baker allowed to let Baker be Baker and make his own play as he sees fit? I mean, most quarterbacks do. Nothing is perfect. And if the route rider ain't riding the right route, then you're going to make alternate play accordingly. So why not just let Baker be Baker and let him fly, baby? Okay? Thanks for your time.
We have to take a quick time out. Other side of the break, we head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason to hear about the draft and what fans are hoping to get out of it. Sports4CLE will be right back. Stay with us.
Life is getting back on track, and you can too. If you or your family have experienced financial hardship as a result of COVID-19, Tri-C can help with tuition assistance. Safely get the in-demand degree or training you need with online and on-campus classes. Go to tri-c.edu to check out our programs and resources.
So, what are you waiting for? Register now for spring classes.
Tri-C is where futures begin.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I am powerful beyond my wildest imagination.
I will define my future.
I will keep challenging myself to improve.
Because I am a future leader of this great nation.
I will be responsible for raising a beautiful family.
And educating not only my generation, but many more to come.
I will make a difference in my community.
And I will stand up for what I believe in.
I will not settle for simply chasing my dreams. I will achieve them.
Because I was given a chance.
An opportunity.
A home.
At Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America.
The ultimate leadership experience.
FCCLA has been one of the greatest experiences of my life.
It's made me who I am today.
Join us. We'll build a new future together.
Last week, the Combine wrapped up, so now we're in full swing as they get ready for the NFL Draft. We head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason, the uncut version, to hear what fans want to see the Browns do in the 2022 Draft.
Yeah, this is Mandela Moore. And what's up, Dave, by the way? But I've been thinking, what if the Browns want to try that draft a quarterback and sitting for a year method like the Chiefs or a couple other successful teams we know of, and they draft Malik Willis with that 13 overall pick if he's still there, and then they try to go for like a receiver like Christian Watson. I've just been watching a little bit of Christian Watson's film, and he do got a spark to him. And I just was really wondering what you and your guys' opinion would be on.
Hi, James Tyler here. As you know, the last 3 drafts, there's been somebody that's dropped from the first round into the second round, and the Browns have grabbed them up because of injury concerns or whatever. Greedy Williams, Grant Delpit, JOK. What the Browns grab up their first round pick is one of the stud receivers they need. Say Garrett Wilson, for example. And one of the other 2 receivers that are supposed to be sure first rounders drops into the second round because of the injury concerns, and they end up with Jameson Williams or I can't think of the other guy's name. I think it's Drake with the ankle injury. But do you think the Browns might double dip in the receiver pool? Hey, thank you very much. I was just wondering what your thoughts were. You have a great day.
Here's what I would like the Browns to do in this offseason. First of all, I really don't want them to pick a quarterback. I don't want them to grab a quarterback in free agency because you're just asking for more money that you're going to need to pay. And it's been shown lately that the receivers coming out of college are pretty good to start off with. So anyway, I would look, upgrade my defense to the free agency if I had to. But as far as, I would say, offensively, here's what I like the Browns to do. First, I'd like them to take Drake London, 6'5" receiver. Pretty good. And I think he'd start off immediately being good. After that, I'd like the Browns to go see if they can get Carson Strong, 6'4" quarterback. So right now you got a 6'5" receiver, 6'4" quarterback. You don't have to pay him a lot of money right now. Drake will start off right away. Carson Strong will have to sit for a year. Then I'd come right back. After that, go back to Nevada and I'd grab Cole Turner, their 6'6" tight end. By the way, the quarterback will already be familiar with those after his year is up. Then I come right back to Nevada one more time, and I grab the 6'2" receiver, Romeo Dobbs. All these guys, you don't have to pay them big money for a while. That's how you do it right there. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Bye.
Hey there, bud. Got one question. Why doesn't the Browns pick a quarterback that stands over 6 foot tall? Like maybe 6'5"? You know, somebody taller. It seems like the last quarterbacks we've had, the last, 5, 6, they've been small quarterbacks. Why don't we try a big one? Why don't we go that route? I'm not saying not going to say Baker's got to go, but why don't we try a taller, bigger quarterback? Just want to know. Thank you.
So, last time I talked to you guys, I wanted the Browns to draft, in this order, Drake London, Carson Strong, Cole Turner, and Romeo Dobbs. The reason why I wanted the Cole Turner and Romeo Dobbs is because, if you remember, last year, the Bengals drafted a receiver that their quarterback was already familiar with. He turned out to be very good, and how'd that work out? The reason why I want Carson Strong and I want him to sit for a year is because the Browns always throw their quarterback in the first year. How's that worked out? So, like I said, he'd be familiar with those two guys because they were already on his team. Besides the fact that everybody is 6'2" to 6'5". We need bigger players. I wouldn't mind, drafting Garrison, but I got a feeling Garrison will get hit and hurt within the first year. They're just too small. I wanted bigger players. And I would just address the defense in the draft, and then pick some players later. That's all I had to say. Thanks. Bye.
I was just calling in today to see what y'all would think about the Browns drafting defensive tackle Jordan Davis out of Georgia University, because as I watch his film a little bit, I'm not too deep into it, but man, his film, he looked like the second coming of Vince Wilfork, and somebody like that on the defensive line with Myles Garrett and maybe Jadeveon Clowney, if they can resign him, or whoever they get behind them out, man, Jordan Davis looks like the truth at defensive tackle.
Hey, what's up, Dave? Shouting you out for always looking presentable on camera, buttoned up, blazer, and pocket square. Extremely fresh. This voicemail is in reference to Mary Kay Cabot's mock draft when she had the Browns selecting Malik Willis, the quarterback, at our number 13th pick. I love the pick. We have to remember, nowadays, quarterbacks are always overdrafted based on potential. We're not drafting him necessarily to come in and be the day one starter, but we are drafting him based on his developmental potential and possibly being able to push Baker Mayfield if he's ready to be our starter. We can always find receivers in later rounds. And I wanted to bring up the point about the Patriots. If you remember, the Patriots, their number one receivers were tight ends, and they had many successful winning years featuring tight ends as their number one receivers. I believe the Browns are built the same way. We have Njoku, we have Hooper, we have Bryant, three very capable tight ends that we can feature as our number one receivers if we choose to draft receivers who may need time to develop. Think about this. How often is a receiver drafted, comes in and makes an immediate impact? That guy is an immediate star. He's everything that we need to help us get over the top. Hey, I hope you feature my voicemail. Thanks again.
Before we get to the draft, it's free agent season and the new league year right around the corner. We'll hear what fans want to see from the Browns when the new league year starts. Sports4CLE will be right back. Stay with us.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Thanks for buying a fishing license. I want you to picture all of the great things this simple purchase does. Like building public boat ramps, keeping local waters clean, and maintaining a healthy fish population.
What's Mom doing?
When you buy a fishing license, you do a lot. Every dollar protects and maintains your local waterways for future generations to enjoy. Visit takemefishing.org.
Welcome back to Sports for CLE. The league year begins on Wednesday when teams can officially sign free agents. But legal tampering when they can negotiate with free agents begins Monday. Browns will be busy. It is safe to say it is roster building season in the NFL. We head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason in this uncut version to hear what Browns fans want to see from Andrew Berry in the front office.
Yes, my name is Randall McKissack, longtime Browns fan. My comment is about the CEO of the organization, Andrew Berry. So I think next year it's very important for him to get it right. There's three things he's got to get right. He's got to get a play caller, he's got to get a kicker, and he's got to get a quarterback to run this team. If he don't, I'm afraid he might end up on a hot seat next year and put his job at jeopardy. I'd love to hear your comments. Bye.
Hi, calling here from the Bay Area, and I am concerned about a lot of deficiencies that the Browns have. They have deficiencies in the offensive line, the defensive line, the receiving core, and the quarterback. And I don't know if they're really going to address all these deficiencies in 1 year, and I'm concerned that the Browns are basically going to be in the basement in their division for years to come. Burrow and Cincinnati are going to be dominant for the next 10 years, and I don't see how the Browns are going to ever catch up with them. Thank you.
Yes, I had an idea for a trade for a wide receiver. I figured since Dearness Johnson is going to be coming up as a restricted, sign him, package him up for a wide receiver around the league, see what we can get. I don't know what you guys think, how possible that is or whatever. And then what do you guys think, if any, there will be some repercussions around involving the league and the rules regarding players being released mid-season and just basically being able to leverage themselves against a team to become a free agent halfway through the season and then go play for a Super Bowl?
Hi, I was just calling to weigh in on the Jarvis Landry situation, and I think he had a great career with Cleveland and been a good team player. But isn't the slot receiver one of the easier positions to replace? That's all I wanted to ask. Thanks a lot.
Hi, this is Jaron Ferguson of Shaker Heights, Ohio. I was just calling to ask if we can do anything to get Jadeveon Clowney back and Jarvis back in that locker room. If we can, I know we can go out and get the receiver that we need. If we can't draft Garrett, I think Garrett's going to fall to us. I think that's a great choice for us in the draft. If not, Malik Willis he's going to be on board. He's going to be on the board, but, they're saying we're sticking with Baker. I do think it's a possibility if he does fall to the second round, we can grab him. Saw a mock draft earlier that Garrett didn't fell to the second round, and I think that's ridiculous. But if it happens, let's make it happen.
Oh, hi, my name is Joe. I'm living here in Western New York, so Buffalo Bills country. So I wanted to bring up the topic of injuries, and it seems like the last couple of years, the Browns have gotten hit pretty good with the injury bug. I'm hearing that in Bills country that the Bills have been pretty good as far as like maybe the top 2 or 3 teams that have not had the injury bug hit them within the last 3 years, and so they must be doing something right when they're practicing how they're using their strength and conditioning, and maybe the Browns could go talk to the Bills and see what the heck is working for them. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Jerry. I'm a lifelong Cleveland Browns fan, and I think that my comment is we could learn something from Bill Belichick on how he handled New England's issues in 2 key positions the Browns are having issues with. At defensive tackle, he took a big kid from Alabama in the draft who has turned out very nicely for him. It's a big kid from a big program. And at the slot receiver position, although I really like Jarvis Landry, if you look at what Belichick did with Wes Welker, he let him go, and who took his place with Julian Edelman, another star receiver. So I think the Browns could learn a lesson from Bill Belichick. Thanks. Have a good day.
Hi, this is Mark from Cuyahoga Falls. I think that Browns fans should all contribute about $1 billion and buy an adamantium skeleton for Bernie Kosar so he can come back and save the Browns next season.
Yeah, I just want to say the only sense I can really make of what's really going on lately is the fact that I think we're in a slow-paced rebuild. I don't see why they would lock up the running backs last year, sign the linemen, let the receivers go. Mayfield's contract expiring. They got the defense the way they want it. I mean, just plain and simple, it's a rebuild. So I don't look forward to nothing real big this season. I would say this, probably chill out on getting into it with all the narratives and stuff, because a lot of these guys probably ain't going to be here. I would assume Mayfield is gone, and I would assume that Jarvis Landry ain't coming back. Barry's been making that a little bit obvious. But I don't know, man. What do y'all think? It's a rebuild or not? I don't think the team that we're going to have that'll be significant is going to be the one that went to the playoffs in 20. Rebuild. It's happening right now. Cleveland fans rock.
The coaches ruined Baker Mayfield's confidence by playing when he was injured. And any pro football player is going to play regardless. He's going to try his best. But you could use Case Keenum and be a good coach and see all that. The next thing I would do is I would move Wills back to right tackle, to the right side. That's what he played in college. Yeah, sure, he was a backside protector, but the fact was he had a left-handed quarterback. So move him back to the right side where he was good, and then try to get Orlando Brown if you can for the left side. You can draft Traylon Burks or whoever you want. You need 2 probably wideouts that you can draft. Don't get them from free agency. They're too expensive. You won't get what you want. And that's you got to restructure or keep Clowney. You just got to do that and restructure or cut Landry. So there you have it. That's at least a start for becoming a good Browns team.
As always, we appreciate all of the voicemails. Keep them coming. We will continue to use them in our shows. Before we go, each week, in conjunction with the Ohio Lottery Partners in Education Program, we recognize role model students from all across the state of Ohio. We head to Walsh Jesuit High School to take a look at a young guy named Taryn Rogers. Taryn, a star on the football team, gets it done on the wrestling mat, even more impressive in the community and the classroom. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education Program, proud to salute Walsh Jesuit High School's Taryn Rogers, this week's Shining Star. Tyron Rogers is a two-sport star for Walsh Jesuit. He excels both in football and wrestling. The senior realizes he's changed dramatically during his high school career.
I would say when I started, I was more so selfish. I became more of a leader, and able to take a step back and like listen to people and do things not only for myself but for my team and to be the best we could.
Rogers is a 4-year player on the football team and was part of a senior class that went from not winning a game as freshmen to making a deep playoff run as seniors.
We went to the regional finals. We had a tough loss there, but we really turned the program around from where we were at a few years ago.
I know that they'll give a lot of credit to the new staff and things like that, but these kids were driven, and they were a great class that did great things.
Guys like Tyron are how coaches like Coach Alexander turn a program around. Rogers is 5'8", 5'9", but put together. He played a spotlight position for the Warriors when he was younger, but switched to defensive line, a thankless position for one reason.
To help the team, we needed the defensive lineman, so I stepped in and helped right there.
Ty's a pretty selfless kid, and I think buying into the team aspect was important. As a sophomore, Tyron played linebacker, and we asked him as a junior to put his hand in the ground and play defensive line. It's not really as glorified as the position as a linebacker is, and he did that with no problem. Then as a senior, we asked him to play offensive line and defensive line, and again, he did that with no problem. So he really bought into the weight room aspect.
The team-first approach was noticed not only by the coaches, but his teammates as well. Ty earned the title of captain for the Warriors football team this year.
He wasn't one of the initial first 4 captains. He was like number 5 on the list, right? And then all of a sudden, we picked a captain each week. And Ty was at like 3 different times, and eventually to the point where my defensive coordinator came up to me and said, this kid is who we want. He embodies everything that we're asking. He brings it every day in practice. He's the kid that we want out there, walking up there for the coin toss. So we had a formal presentation and kind of let him know that he was officially one of the 5 captains, and the team went nuts and respected it. It was a cool moment.
His competitiveness carries over into the classroom as well. Ty carries above a 3.1 grade point average and has narrowed his college choices to just a few schools. He plans on using his math skills to major in mechanical engineering in college.
I'm really good at math, and I don't know, but I feel like I can work good with my hands. So I feel like making the best out of my skills, that would be it. I went to a career fair and read about different career paths and how they like their job and things that they did within their job. So that's what led me that way.
Tyron just has a good work ethic. I think that's where it starts. He's not a lazy kid. He everything that he does full-heartedly. I had him in class. He's a great student in the classroom, and he tries hard in the classroom too. And I think that's important. He's a great math student. He takes a lot of pride in that, always willing to work. It's not about him. It's about the team and everything he does, and he's going to be great at whatever he does.
Ty is also a team player when it comes to community service. He helps out at Cleveland Feeds the City, especially during the holidays, and he also helps out with his mother's not-for-profit organization, Pregnant with Possibilities. If you know a student who deserves recognition, we want to hear about them, and you can nominate them completely online. Go to OhioLottery.com, find the About section. Click on Partners in Education. There you will see links to nomination forms. Nominate that student as an academic all-star, and they could end up being featured as our next shining star. We are all out of time on this edition of Sports for CLE. We will see you back here Monday when legal tampering in the NFL begins. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here Monday at 4 o'clock on Sports for CLE.